Hello everyone and welcome to this video where today I'm going to be teaching you about all the type tools that we have available to us in Adobe Illustrator, okay? So our touch type tools are present to us on the left side of the panel right below our pen tool, okay? So over here we have different types of type tool. The type tool, area type tool, type on a pad tool, vertical type tool, vertical area type tool, and vertical type on a pad tool, and also touch type tool. All right. So first, the type tool. It is basically allowing you to add text to the Illustrator document. And to use this tool, either click on your artboard just like this, okay, and begin typing, as you can see. All right. So let's delete that. And it allows you to type without any boundaries. You can click and drag to create a box and then begin typing, okay? Just like this, all right? And this box will basically restrict whatever you write inside it, which means you cannot write more than the area inside this box, all right? So now I'm going to go ahead and delete this. And first I'm going to teach you how to basically use some parts of the type tool. Now consider that you have written something over here already, okay? And afterwards we can go to our selection tab over here where we can change our color for the text, as you can see. All right. So afterwards you will notice that this is what happens. And then we can also add a stroke to it. Let me zoom in so that you can also see what's going on. Okay. So let's bring our text a bit up. Okay. There seems to be some issues with Adobe Illustrator. Okay, anyways, so this is our text over here first. And if you want to add a stroke to it, you can do that as well. As you can see, this is what happens when you add the stroke. All right. Okay. So after that, we have the width profile for our text. Now we can select any of these profiles from here, but you'll see that it does not apply to it. This is because width profiles only are available to lines and all the other illustrations that you do, but not our text. Okay. But if you want to like go ahead and then change the opacity, you can do that also, as you can clearly see over here. I'm reducing the opacity of my text. Okay, let's bring it back to 100%. Then we have recolor artwork. What this will do is basically recolor the artwork that you have. And afterwards, we have the character. Okay, if I click on this, notice that we have a pop-up menu where I can fix all of these fonts for my text. Okay, and then we can also select the font style, which is set to regular, and then we can also select the font size from here, then select leading. What this will do is basically increase the lead of your text. So let me just go over here, select character again. Okay. Let's put it back to default. And then we have our set the kerning between two characters. What this does is basically it fixes the kerning or space between the alphabets over here. Okay, we can select 0, automatic, and matrix Roman only. Okay, I'm going to set it to automatic, and then we have the set the tracking for the characters. And what this will do is basically increase the space, as you can clearly see, between each character, and decrease it also only if you need it. And then we have the vertical scale, which will increase the height of your text. And then we have the horizontal scale, which will increase the width of your text. After that, we have the baseline shift. What it'll do is will shift it from your baseline that is set for it. Okay. And then afterwards, we have our character rotation, which will rotate the letters in our text, as you can see. Okay. Then we have all caps, which will turn all our text into caps, and then we have the small caps. After that, we have superscript and subscript, which we all know what it will do. Let's undo that. Then we have underline, and after that, we have strike through. Okay, here we can select the English language or any other languages that we can need for our illustrations. Then we have a option that will set the anti-aliasing method. Now I can set it to crisp, strong, sharp. All right. Then we have snap to glyph, which will basically show you baseline, X height. These options are basically for your texts. Glyph bounds, which will snap to the bottom, left, right of a glyph while drawing, moving, or scaling. Then we have proximity guides, snap to guides generated near baseline, X height, and glyph bounds while drawing, moving, or scaling. This is for angular guides, and this is for anchor points. Okay. All right, so after that, we have the paragraph option over here, which will basically help you with aligning your text. Okay, we have center align, right align, left align. Okay, before that, let me go ahead and create a new text over here, right in the center. And let's go back to character over here. Okay, what I'd like to do is put it to 0. Okay, we are done. And now I'd like to go back to paragraph over here. So click on this. And then what I'd like to do is select center align. Now you can see that it's center aligned to my document. Left align, right align, justify with last line in the center. Okay, justify will not work with this sort of text, so let me create a big box. Okay, now if I go back over here and select justify, you will see that this is the result. Left, right, okay, and then we have bullet points, and then we have numbered list, and if we click down on this menu, we can enter the type of bullet point that we need, and if we click down, we can enter the type of numerical value that we need here, or we can type in alphabets also. As you can see, Roman numerals are also present. And then over here we have our left indent. Now what this will do is increase the left indent or left indent space. Then afterwards we have our right indent, which is definitely the opposite of left indent. And over here we have the first left indent, which will just basically create an indent for our first line over here. Okay. Then we have our space before paragraph. Now what this will do is basically create a space before your paragraph. And then let me go back here, and then let's press enter to create some space. And I'd like to select all of them, and also move the numbered list. Okay, and also I'd like to just go back to paragraph. And now if I select this option, space before a paragraph, you can see that it creates a space after there's a paragraph. Okay, let's create it back to okay, and then we have space after paragraph, and if I select this is the same thing, as you can clearly see. So this is before and this is after. Okay, now afterwards, if I click on these three options over here, we have the Roman hanging punctuation, justification options, where you can see you can edit the way you justify. After that, we have hyphenation. Hyphenations will help you to fix your hyphenations options over here. And then we have Adobe single line composer, every line composer, and also reset panel. Okay, let's reset it. Afterwards, we have the area type option. And in this option, you can select the width of your text area, okay? And then we have the height. As you can see, this is basically the area being edited in your text, okay? If I increase the width, as you can see over here, the size of the width increases of our area box, and then the number of rows over here is going to be increased as well. The span over here, if I increase it, you can see that increases the space between each number of rows. Okay. Now, if I select fixed, then it will just stay the way it is. Then we have the number of columns. If I increase it, you can see that this is what happens. Then we have the span of the number of columns. Now you can see that this is what it does. All right. Let's bring our text back to normal. Okay. After that, we have the offset. What offset will do is basically move your text to a more center position, as you can clearly see. Then we have the first baseline, which will have the options cap, height, leading, X height, M box height, fixed, and legacy, and minimum value. And then we have horizontal align, which will be either at the top, center, bottom, and justify. Then we have text flow, okay, by rows left to right. And if I select by columns left to right, let's just press OK. Now let's say I go over here and type something. Now it is writing columns from left to right, okay? So let's go back here and put it on normal. Then we have the auto size option also over here and the preview, okay? Now I'll just go back over here and press OK. And what I'd like to do now is basically remove all this clutter over here. So let's use this. Okay, now that I'm done, what I'd like to do is go forward to the next part over here for our text tool, which is basically transform. Okay, if I click on transform, we can see that I have an X value over here, which will change the value of its position in my artboard. The Y value over here, it will move the position of the height up and down. After that, we have the angles over here, which will rotate our text, but not every single text over here. Okay, then over here we have the shear. What this will do is make it a more italic view for our text. Let's turn it back to 0. Height, width, we already know that. And then we can also scale corners and scale strokes effects. All right, so let's do that. And if you want more option, click on this, and now we can flip horizontally, flip vertically. Okay, and also we can select this for scale, strokes, and effects. And here we can also select all of these options. Okay, now say you wanted to wrap your text or create a design with your text. So first we have to select it and then go to object. After that we have to go to text warp, then select make. Now here Adobe Illustrator is telling us that text will warp around all objects in the current selection, including type objects. So we want type objects, so we'll press on OK. All right, so I think I have to create outlines first and then go to object, make. All right. Let's select warp over here from effect and then select arc. And now we can see that our text over here has been warped, and we can select from any of these options: arc lower, arc upper, arch, shell lower, shell upper, wave, rise, fisheye, squeeze. Let me select the arc for now. Okay, press OK after that. And now you'll see that we have our text over here and it is in an arc. Okay, now we can go ahead and take a rectangle, select no fill, and then let's put in a stroke. Then what I'd like to do is increase the size a bit. Okay, now I want this object over here to text warp my text. Okay, so what I'll do is select transform. I'm sorry, not transform. Go to effect, go to warp, create an arc. All right, and over here we can also select the bend that we want, as you can clearly see. Okay, we can also select the distortion that we want. You can also select the verticalness. All right, let's press OK. There you go. Now I can select this and then right click, then arrange, bring to front. Now after that, if I select on this and select a fill of my color, okay, now you can see that we have a banner, a simple banner that is. Right click and group, and there you go. It's pretty nice. All right, so this is how you use text warp on your text and also objects, mind you. All right, so after that we have this option where we can select the text that we warped, go to style, and then select any of these styles from here. Okay, now it will not work on the text now, so I'll create a new text over here. All right, and now for this, I'd basically like to first right click and create outlines. After doing that, I can go ahead in style and then select this, but it will not work, as you can clearly see. Let's select this again. Let's select fill, and here it's giving me an exclamation mark to say, which says click to activate the topmost fill. Okay, now it is activated. Let's make it a bit bigger, but as you can see, the style did not add itself. And over here, if I choose any of these font styles, you can see that this is what happens. Okay, let's select one of these. Now if I select this, you can see that this is what it looks like. It doesn't look that good, honestly, but if I had a rectangle around it, right click, arrange, send to back. Okay, then let's say I change the fill to black. Now you can see that this is what it looks like. It's not that good, but I can do some changes to make it look a bit better. Okay, let's change the style for our text for now. Select this, the fill to be absolutely different. Okay, it's not changing its color now because I have already created outline, so let's delete this. Let's create another text. Okay, now let's change the color fill. All right. Okay, now right click and then we'll select transform, select shear, and now you can see that this is what it does to our text. All right. Okay, and if you right click again, we can go to transform, select reflect, rotate, scale. If you select scale, you will see that this is what will happen. Okay, it is scaling itself to our banner over here clearly. I can also select to scale corners, scale strokes and effects, press copy, and now it has created a copy of my text that I wanted to scale. As you can clearly see. Let's put this here. Okay. All right. So now after that, if I select show rulers, show grid, you can see that this is what happens. You can use these options to like make more better text banners and also accurately predict what your text will be, their measurements, and everything else. Okay, now another thing you'll notice that whenever I click on this text, I did not create outlines for it yet. So if I select the transform option over here, I'm sorry, this make envelope option, or go over here, I can either make it with mesh or make it with a warp. So let me just make it with envelope. And now you can see that I can easily create this warp without going to the effects option over here. And I can select the bend that I want. Okay, so I can select also the vertical bend that I want, as you can clearly see. Okay, let's cancel it. I just wanted to show you this warp or make envelope option. All right, now let's go ahead and teach you the other options that are left in our text. So let's zoom out. Okay, now I want to teach you about the area type tool. So what does the area type tool do? The area type tool allows you to convert an existing shape into a box and then type in it. For example, let's say I took a star over here. Okay, let's just bring it down here and select no fill, or I can just let it be as it is, because when I just select my area type tool over here and then select on its path, you can see that the text forms inside it. And let's just reduce the text a bit. There you go. Now what I'm going to do is delete it and then go over here, use the type tool on it again. Okay, and now you'll see that the text tries to basically morph into this shape, and in this way you can create any types of shapes like that. Okay, it's not that bad, looks pretty good. All right, so after that, let's say I used another shape over here, for example the ellipse tool. Now you can see that it does so as well. Okay, so afterwards, let me go ahead and use the polygon tool. And then make sure you click on the path but not inside the shape. And there you go. Our text is in a polygon over here. Okay. So this is what the area type tool basically does. After that, we have type on a path tool. What this will do is basically, for example, let's say I create a straight line over here. Okay, then I create a curved line over here. Okay, let me select no fill. and then select our type on a path tool. And this tool will allow you to use an existing line or shape as a path to type on. So let's select this path. And now you can see that it follows the path perfectly. And just like the text over here, I can go back here and then select make envelope. And now you can see that even after following a path, it will stay that way. Even after I put warp options over here, I can select bulge, flag, rise. Okay, so let's press OK. And now we're done, as you can clearly see. Okay, so this was our type on a path tool. And then we have the vertical type tool. What this will do is basically type your text vertically. Now you can see that my cursor shows a line in a horizontal place, and now if I select it, you can see that this is what happens. If I create a box, you can see that all of my texts are being typed vertically. Okay. Now, as I told you before, this tool allows you to type text vertically instead of horizontally. After that, we have the vertical area type tool. Okay, what this tool will do is basically type the text vertically instead of horizontally in a shape. So now let's go ahead and make our shape over here. And now if I use the vertical area type tool, select the path, you can see that this is what happens, okay? And if I add a stroke, it'll become a bit bolder, so I'll not add it. Okay, now after the vertical area type tool, we have the vertical type on a path tool. Now, what vertical type on a path tool does is basically it is exactly like type on a path tool, but actually it allows you to type text vertically instead of horizontally. So for that, first we need to create some lines over here. Okay, now let's go ahead and just go over here and type the vertical type on a path tool and then select my path. And now you can see that after it follows the path, unlike my type on a path tool, it creates the text vertically. All right, and it follows the path indently. All right, and afterwards we have the touch type tool over here, and the shortcut for this key is Shift plus T. Select it, and what this will do is basically allow you to select individual letters of existing text and move them around. For example, let's go over here in our vertical text over here. Now let's say I select this L over here, and now you can see that it's selected. I can move it around. I can take this back, and it will also give me some options for making it small, as you can see. I can also increase the width of my texts, the height. I can also shift the baseline. Okay, so this is touch type tool. Okay, so that was all for this video. I hope you've understood how to use these tools. And just before I go, I want to go over here for my vertical text. And here you will see that for our alignment, we have the align top, align center, align bottom options, okay? So this is the only difference between the horizontal and vertical types of paragraph, okay? So thank you for watching this lesson, and I'll see you in the next video.